All right, welcome back to the second half of our video. So the sixth race is going to be Khajiit. So we're going to go over what it is. These are the Freyr abilities. So you see we got 20% move speed, 75% less fall damage, and then 10 extra damage from your claws. You also get caravan preferential purchasing, which is kind of useless, but it's cool. Now, Khajiit from Imperious is actually one of the much more better uh, races to be, especially if you were a punch cat, which means you spec into unarmed damage. You were just better than anybody else at it. So 15% damage instead of 20, which is what you get out of Mannaz. And then sneaking, you get half muffling. You get a power leap for 60 stamina, and then you also get claws damage for 25% of your current stamina. Just really good overall. So this is way less powerful from Mannaz, but I would still go with this probably over Imperious version because we haven't yet looked at the Freyr version, right? So you get Night Eye at will if you take Apprentice Stone, which I guess you could. At the crossroads, so you get a large sum of gold. I actually would say that would be better for Ritual Stone, but it's fine. Atronach Stone is so late in the game that by the time you reach it, I don't know if a large sum of gold is going to make a big dent. All right, so you get 1K, 10K, or 100K gold. Yeah, I guess if you could start the game with 100K gold, that would be kind of broken. Um, but sorry, it keeps flipping. I'm trying to adjust here. If you can get 100K gold, that'd be kind of broken. But yeah, I would still like that at the beginning of the game, regardless. And then you have to pay it back anyway, so you just have to slowly work your way up to it. Um, Lady Stone, so that's one you can actually get pretty early. Ooh, improved potion drinking. So I just see when I see potion drinking and ingredients, you know what that says to me? Looping, alchemy looping. Just immediately alchemy and enchanting looping. Like 20% ain't a lot, but it's enough. It's basically the same as the ritual stone from what you call it. It is literally the same as the ritual stone from Stones of Galen and Imperious. So and that was enough to loop for me in a few months ago. So this should be more than enough with the Lady Stone. All right, Lord Stone need can power attack with single claws while sneaking. Claw damage is improved by 10 points. I don't know what that means. Why would I want to power attack with a single claw instead of both claws? Is there a bonus to doing so? I don't know. All right. Well, anyway, Lover Stone Purr. When an ally is within close range, Khajiit and ally recover magic and stamina 50% faster. Okay, that's kind of cool. Especially if you're like, you know, yeah, if you have like a Bash Brother type deal going on, that's kind of cool. Bling for Mage. Khajiit spells cost 5% less for each digit of gold carried, up to 15%. So if you had 10 digits of gold, it'd be like 50% less. Okay, you know what? That's actually kind of interesting. Is it the same for Thief? Ooh, 5% harder to attack for each digit of gold carried, up to 50%. And then Swagger for each digit of gold. So up to 10 digits, which good luck, but it's not that rare to get up to 6-digit gold. Like it's a lot of work, but you can get there. So yeah, basically for each of these, think 30% ish for the most part. Unless you're cheating, then you can easily get up to, well, shoot, even then, like 10 digits? 10 digits is a trillion, ain't it? Yeah, I mean, you could be pressing that button in the cheat room that gives you 10,000 gold for, or 100,000 gold for a long time and still not hit a trillion, right? Because, wait, no, 7 digits is a million. 10 digits is a billion. Yeah, 10 digits is a billion. And that's still quite a lot. That's still a lot. You'd still be pressing that button instantaneously a lot of times. So you're never really effectively going to hit that 50%, I don't think. I don't, like, unless you've got some way to exponentially get your money up. You're going to look at 30%, maybe 35% tops. If you can get up to that million point with just 7 digits. But it does bring in a new play pattern I like, which is saving up money in order to make yourself stronger. I do like that. And it kind of matches the, if you go back to Imperious, uh, yeah, you got a quest reward for getting 50,000 gold, which was perception. It kind of matches that. I like that as a callback to Imperious. So that's pretty cool to me. Can we stay focused, please? There we go. Stop turning. I should have locked it into landscape, but yeah, I didn't think about doing that. Anyway, um, ritual lunar rush. Khajiit can jump out of their attack swings and spellcast. Oh, so that's basically a jump cancel. I like that because I'm a fighting game player, kind of, sorta. So I like the idea of canceling stuff, even if it's like in Skyrim. Like I don't know how bad attack cooldowns are, but I'm game for this. I like it. Especially if you're using a very slow weapon or a very long spell to cast, which I think most spells are pretty quick to cast though. That's the main thing is like most scale spells, once you get the effect out, you're pretty much done casting. Mm, yeah, I'm not sure how useful that is for spellcasts. Because, yeah, even in a ritual, if you let go of this casting button, you're done. Yeah, I'm not sure how useful it is for spellcasts. I can't think of a situation where I'm like, oh, if only I could use this. Yeah, I can't think of it. Maybe bound bound weapon would be the one situation where I could think where it takes a minute to. But even in bound weapon, you're able to freely move. Like you don't have to stand in front of an attack while you're summoning a bound weapon. You can move backwards, strafe, do an evasive leap, any of that stuff. Like you just can't block or anything while you're summoning a bound weapon. I don't think. But pretty much anything else you want to do, you can do. So, uh, maybe in practice it'll make more sense. But that's a ritual stone. I think that might be the early game stone I like the most. Or actually, I think. Hmm. Okay, Shadowstone's kind of like the old Shadowstone, ain't it? From Andromeda. Shadowstone here, Prowl. Sneak 10% faster and 40% harder to detect, but sneaking costs 10 magic per second. It's halfway between the old Shadowstone from Andromeda and also the old Khajiit. Uh, well, kind of like Feline Agility, but Feline Agility is more about sprinting than sneaking, and it's more about stamina and magicka, right? Mm, I like it. I still haven't found one that's just like absolutely I must have it though. Khajiit can activate humanoid opponents for 40 gold per level to steal all magicka and stamina. This is interesting to me. Now here's my problem. I like gold because I like all the stuff that gold can give me with a Khajiit. Unlike, and I want to make this clear, unlike with Winter Sun, where you really do want to stick with one deity pretty much for your whole playthrough, if you can, with these stones, you can swap back and forth at will. So maybe I would like to be good at sneaking for some quests like a diplomatic immunity, and then go to being good at spell casting, low spell cost for like setting up a Kha's recital or doing the mage quest line, and then go to taking less damage for something else or just in general. Like, so being able to switch back and forth and getting full benefit, if something like, yeah, and then there's even these, yeah, I'm looking at these. I'm like, I don't want to give up money. Like, I really want to keep as much money in my pockets as possible. That's 40 gold per level, which is similar to the Imperial effect, but then again, you don't get Imperial gold to offset that at all. So, I see it. It can be powerful, especially if you're dealing with a really bad opponent. But then again, it's a humanoid opponent, so it's really going to be like Bandit Chiefs and Big Knight type deals, which, and I guess Forsworn Briarhearts. But for the most part, you should be able to handle those. The only other thing would maybe be Draugr Death Lords. I don't know if Draugr Death Lords count as humanoid. I think they do, though. They do have races, so I think they do count. But at the same time, it's just like, there's just so much better you can do with these stones. I don't see Serpent being the one. All right, Prowl we talked about already. Kind of got ahead of ourselves there. Khajiit can enter sneak while sneaking 15% faster, but becoming 30% easier to detect. That's interesting. Okay, so this is one for like if you're already basically, you know, invisible. This would be really interesting because it's kind of like a higher risk, higher reward. You sneak 15% faster. There's already one. Was it the Serpent Stone? No, the Shadow Stone that lets you sneak 10% faster, but it costs you magicka. This one, that one makes you harder to detect. This one makes you easier to detect. You move a little bit faster while doing it. It's questionable. I don't know. Those two are interesting. I'm not sure if I like Steed and Shadow both being on the same thing, on the same race, because these two could have been on separate races and they would have been similar but different. But them being on the same race is kind of like, I feel like I feel like there should have been something else, like something that actually increases movement speed a little bit more for just regular life, not for, or for sprinting, right? Like, why can't I just get like 15% faster while sprinting, right? I don't know. Granted, that's a very, very basic effect. It's probably already taken by another race, but I'm just thinking out loud. Like, I don't like the fact that these two are on the same race because they're very, very similar. Even though they're kind of opposite to each other, they're very, very similar. The fact that they both increase your sneak speed. All right, Thief, Lucky Coin. Oh, we already went over this. Whiskers, 30% chance to find extra gold. All right, so this is Whiskers. What is Whiskers? An average about 10 gold per kill. I need more gold than that, man. I would need like 100 gold per kill in order to get to these numbers you're talking about, man. Especially with this being the Tower Stone, that's a very, very late game stone. Like, far out of the way type deal. You can get to it, but it's not the easiest thing to get to. by the time you get to it, you won't need 10 extra gold per kill. And it's only a 30% chance. Well, he says an average of 10 gold per kill. So I'm guessing you get a lot of gold each time you get it. But since it's only a 30% chance, it's probably something like 35 gold usually. Alright, Warrior Swagger. Yeah, this is the one that is probably going to be used the most. You also get it pretty much. Well, no, it's damage from power attacks. I'm not sure if I like damage from power attacks. I'm not sure I like damage from power attacks. If it was damage from attacks, I'd feel different. But damage from power attacks is a very specific thing. That doesn't include arrows. That doesn't include a lot of stuff that's physical. And that just makes me say, actually, that's not the one. I'm not sure if I have a one for. I don't have a clear standout for Khajiit. At the Crossroads is clearly really good for like getting yourself situated early game. Probably Moondew. Moondew's probably the one. Yeah. Moondew, maybe Need. Another thing is, can Khajiit not power attack with single claws while sneaking? Like, are they not able to do this? That's all. I'm just like, is this something they can't do? Like, do you have to power attack with double claws? And is that a bad thing? Like, I don't know what this entails. I don't know why you want to do this. Does he write that in his notes? Crossbow reloads into avoid incoming damage. Yeah, I could see at the Crossroads or Lunar Rush, excuse me, being more so for like heavy attackers, like the two-handed. Yeah, if you're using slow weapons, basically. I still can't think of a spell where you need it. I really can't. All right, Nord. I did like Nord. I did like Nord before. Uh, it wasn't the greatest thing on the planet, but it was okay. Um, its main interaction for me was the Warrior's Heart. You get more attack damage and elemental damage up to 40% based on missing health. So I used to use that with Vancian Magic. Vancian Magic has a life tap ability if you go into like the advanced version of it, where you lose health in order to increase the damage that Vancian Magic does. And by doing that, you can not only have like the increased damage of Vancian Magic, because it's like double magnitude innately, but you also have the life tap increased damage, and on top of that, you get the Warrior's Heart increased damage on top of that because you're losing health. So that's actually, I really, really like that interaction, that synergy. Um, Now with this, so we got, I kind of looked at it before when he first announced it, but I didn't really look deep into it. So this is going to be me learning with you guys. Rage improves attacks, critical strikes, and spells by about 25%, but rapidly drains magicka cast again to disable. Alright, so basically giving Nords a reason to use magicka more often than we really do with Nords. Um, 10 magic per second. Depending on what your effects are, you can beat that. It's 25% on all damage, basically, right? Yeah, 25% on all damage. Nordblood gains 50 points of armor. Additional passive effect from all maker stones. Um. I don't remember where the Allmaker stones are or what they do, so I'm kind of like lost there. Are those on Solstheim or something? Like I'm kind of lost to it, but at least he tells you what the effects are. Um, all those are really good. Especially the 50% faster health regeneration. I like that. Um, Power attack damage. I like that. The movement speed. I also like that. I don't usually punch with a Nord, but movement speed can be used to like just straight up dodge something instead of trying to like block it or evasive leap it. If you have high enough movement speed, you just see somebody swing at you, you just move back and they miss you completely because they can't account for the fact that you're just stupidly fast. I did that with my Altmer all the time. I had I think there's a haste enchantment as well, a 4 to 5 speed enchantment, and if you're fast enough, things just swing at you and whiff completely. But 10% isn't that much of a speed buff. It's a speed buff. Start adding more to it, it gets good. All right, the apprentice transfers half of base stamina regeneration to Magicka. Okay, I guess that's kind of trying to keep your rage alive for longer. But the trade-off is you lose stamina regen, so now you trade one problem for another. Your rage can stay active longer, but now you have less stamina, and you don't have something like the Lord Stone from Andromeda where you can power attack without stamina. So you're kind of in a bind if you run out of stamina. And it makes it harder to run to. The thing about I hate lowering my stamina regen because your ability to run is so you don't think stamina is important if you're not a stamina character until you can't run. And when you can't run, everything just takes so much longer to do. It's just so much more annoying. You like become so aware of your character sucking at running. It gets very annoying very quickly. Like it starts eating at you. So I see what it wants to do, but at the same time I'm just like very apprehensive about it. Maybe with that all maker stone, adding uh that roots effect and then transferring that to Magicka, that'd be cool. Or just you like, instead of doing that at all, just use the Magicka effect. All right, Atronach stone. All making stone powers used during rage are returned to you if rage is maintained for a further 8 seconds. Okay, so that allows you to keep some stone powers. Again, I don't know what the cooldown on these all maker stone powers is. If they're like daily powers, but this lets you like use them at will, this is probably going to be a top tier stone. I almost feel like going to UESP and looking up what the all maker stones are. I'm just not going to do it right here, right now. But I might end up following up on this during the playthrough. So this might end up, the Atronach Stone might end up being my go-to, just based on if this is, if the All Maker Stone powers are good, and if this turns them from like daily effects to like at will effects. All right, Lady Stone, easy stone to get to. Dream Journey grants random All Maker Stone power if you don't already have one. Okay, so very early game stone, and then a very early game effect. Because I'm assuming you get the All Maker Stones later in game, right? I'm assuming this. So with that, I'm pretty I'd probably end up picking this first just to get something. I don't know what all the stone powers are. I don't know if they're good. If they're not good, then I wouldn't end up picking this. So this is actually in the same class with Atronach. If the All-Maker Stone powers aren't good, then I don't care about it. But if they are really good, then I do care. And I would probably pick this up. Alright, Atmore and Heritage. 50% frost resist. Not a huge fan of this. I know it's the vanilla, but I'm just not a fan of it. Now, granted, frost resist is great for if you want to be a warrior and you're just like, yeah, I just don't want to be slowed down. I get that, especially if you're already like a slow two-hander. That could probably be really useful, but I don't think it actually helps you resist slow at all either. I have to double check. I think Odin does something to change that, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, Lover, Moth's Grace. Nords are immune to stagger from power attacks and bashes during rage. Oh, well, that just looks good. Yeah, that just looks good. That might be the one. That's the one. Before factoring all these all maker stones, I have no idea what they do. That's the one that I can easily understand, and it just looks like it's the one. I'm just gonna keep it real. That just looks like it's the one right now. So far, we're about halfway through the list. Nord Wisdom causes your rage to drain stamina instead of magicka. So I get where they're going. I get where he's coming from, right? Or he or she. I get where Anai is coming from here. I just don't know. Would it be worth an entire stone to go from, like, all right, now I don't have to invest in magic. I get that. So if I'm a pure warrior character, I can invest all into stamina, and then that'll just be it. Oh, and this is the Mage Stone. So I guess the intent is that you activate Rage, and instead of draining your Magicka, because Rage does increase your spell damage by 25%, you're draining your stamina instead, which keeps you casting longer. But for me, I guess my thought process is I would just want to end up putting all my points into stamina, or not all my points, but a lot more points into stamina than into magic anyway. So that's if I was using this. I get why this is the Mage Stone, though. I understand this now. I understand the thought process. I think I don't dislike it. All right, Ritual Stone. So this is an early game stone. Shouts used during rage have 50%. A shout build. Oh, shout out. Oh, okay, that's the one. Because here's my thing. I personally usually go for shout builds with Nords because it just feels right. They are the tongue race, the race that invented having the tongue and the way of the voice and all these other things. So it just makes a lot more sense for, just from an RP perspective, to play a shout build as a Nord. I do like this. Yeah, I like this a lot. I do. Nord gets a lot of good effects. You are 40% hard to detect during rage. Interesting. That's an interesting one right here. 40% harder to detect during rage. I like it. Rock Slide. Move 15% faster during rage. What? And I has to, why? Why don't we get this effect on Khajiit, man? Like, some, oh man. This is feel bad. Why didn't we get this effect on Khajiit? Alright, so 15% faster during rage. I'm not hating this particular effect. I'm just now more disappointed with Khajiit. I'm more disappointed that Khajiit doesn't get any speed buffs except while sneaking, which, come on. Nord deal 25% more damage with attacks of opportunity, so basically sneak attacks or something like that, right? I don't know if that also includes like uh, demolition job, like sneak spells, that type of deal. I don't know if he's factored that in. I don't know if this also includes like critical strikes. I'm assuming that a bare minimum means sneak attacks, which that's cool. Like Nords get a lot of good effects, pretty much. Thief, Wolf's Hunger. Nord Fury heals you when you sneak attack an opponent based on their level. No. I'm not feeling it. The main reason I'm not feeling it, this is early game stone. Sneaking is very hard early game. And if you sneak attack an opponent to heal, normally you just heal outside of combat anyway. I get that this can make you move faster, right? So instead of waiting to heal or using a potion, you can sneak attack your opponent. But it just feels, it just doesn't feel as good as being hard to detect, or you know what I'm saying? It just doesn't, it doesn't seem as good. Like why am I hurt and then why am I sneak attacking the hill? You know how it's really weird to end up in a situation where you're hurt, but you end up being able to heal from a sneak attack. Unless there's some all maker stone or something I'm not understanding that drastically depletes your health. I don't understand it. All right, Tower Frith. Rage heals you for half of the stamina drained. Oh, me likey. Okay, so I've this is like the fourth time I've been like this is the one, but honestly, I think this is another case like Brayton. So I have to give a nine credit on Brayton. It probably slowed him down by like a month and a half to actually finish Brayton, but most of those stones feel like they're viable for a build. This one, most of these stones feel like they're viable for a different build. Like the fact that I've been like, yeah, this is great, this is great, this is great, this might be the one, this is the one. Like, I like it's giving that I like this particular set. I and I probably would like it even more if I knew what the Allmaker stones were and what they did, because I'm pretty sure this Apprentice stone and this Atronach stone, if those Allmaker stones are good, they're probably good. Like the Lady Stone, oh, not Apprentice stone, not Apprentice stone, Atronach stone, Lady Stone. I'm pretty sure these are good if the Allmaker stones are good. Heck, even this thief ability might be good if you have the right Allmaker stone. I'm just not tracking it. I just don't know what it is. Nord Strength grants an additional 100 points of armor. Alright, that's very good for early game. I like that. I like a lot of these. I'm not going to lie. This one's going to be hard to pick. I don't think there is a one. I think it just depends on what you're trying to play. Since I normally play a shout build, a tongue build with Nord anyway, it's probably going to end up being a Ritual Stone after I beat that first dragon. So I'd probably end up using the Warrior Stone up into the first dragon, and then after being the first dragon, I swap to the Ritual Stone for the rest of the playthrough. Oh, not the rest of the playthrough. Eventually you go to Thunderchild and you get all these other effects that will also lower your shout cooldown or negate it completely. So after that, it might be an All-Maker power, or it might be something else like let's think. If I'm using a shout character, stamina instead of magicka. Even if I'm immune to stagger from power attacks, I still stagger from getting injuries, right? So, like leg breaks, arm breaks, head breaks, chest breaks. Probably the Tower Stone. This is the first time I've ever been like, I will use the Tower Stone for sure, for sure. But I think the Tower Stone would be like, I think it would go from Warrior Stone to Ritual Stone to Tower Stone. That's actually not a bad progression. That's from a very starter stone to a slightly harder to get stone, but you still get it pretty easily, to a very far out of the way stone. That's not bad at all. Uh, yeah, the healing for half your stam or half your magic ain't that bad. Especially if you don't want to use potions a lot or what you call it, or healing spells. You just want to be a straight up, menace. All right, orc. All right, so here we go. Let's look at what Mannaz gives us. So orc was sort of underpowered, but sort of good. And let me show you what Imperious did to orc. So you had Shockwave, which was once per battle. You could jump to cause a tremor. I like to use that with Voice of Rage and Ruin and Disengage, which ended the battles. And if you were still near an enemy, or restart the battle. But since the battle technically ended, you can jump again and use that Shockwave ability again, and you just keep staggering them in that manner. I really like that effect, and probably keep that. Honestly, I did like that effect. Strength Still, which basically you weren't magic looping unless you were really good. Like I guess you could find enough effects you could magic loop. And then Bloodlust, when entering combat, gain 25% movement speed. Again, the ability to put Disengage onto Voice of Rage and Ruin, which is a Ordinator slash Volcranator two-handed ability that allows you free casts of your daily powers, or any power really. Or you can use it also on top of that. You could have Power Surge. So just using those type of effects on top of each other would allow you to constantly be out of battle, then re-entering battle to refresh your Bloodlust and your Shockwave. That was kind of the play style when you were playing Orc with Andromeda. When I was playing it, other people would have different play styles, obviously, but that was my play style. So now we're looking at Orc from the new perspective, Mannaz. So Stronghold Supplies is absolutely worthless. Sorry, Enai, it is. And then War Stomp at will for 100 Magic Up. If jumping, Orc will stay on the ground on landing, staggering those nearby and taking 75% less fall damage. So you no longer get the Voice of Rage and Ruin proc for this. So that whole playstyle I was just talking about, that's gone now. That's just completely gone. You no longer get a penalty to enchantment, so you can enchant. I don't know. That at will for 100 Magicka. Throne of Nirn, not Throne of Nirn. Towns of Nirn would probably go well with this. I'm trying to think of other ways to make this work. Probably, is it called Nullifier or Atronach? The Atronach, what you call it? Perk up in Volcranator. I think it consistently drains enemies of their magicka. That's also a good way to utilize this. Oh, it has 50% chance to knock down. Interesting. Hope that's a big, wide range. That 75% less fall damage is cool too, but you have to time it right because you only get 1 second. Yeah, like I said, anytime I see stagger enemies nearby, I just think Towns of Nern. Um, Launching enemies, and then probably just running up on them. Let's see what else we can get from this. Alright. Berserk at will power for 100 magicka. Those attack damage, critical damage, and has attack damage taken for 10 seconds. Okay. I see what you're doing there. I like it. It's basically Berserk again, the same as the other one. These stamina requirements are hurting. I'm not stamina, these magical requirements. Like, dang, I need how much magicka? You're basically going to be using magicka draining effects. You have to. And if your base magicka is too low, you're going to have to increase it to 100. Alright, Atronach Bloodhound. Gain Berserk for 10 seconds when you fall below 25% health. This effect has a 30-second cooldown. Okay, so Apprentice gives you Berserk at will, but you have to spend on it. This gives it to you when you go below 25% health. Probably useful for other people's games, but for my game, I die too quickly. Anytime I see something say going below 25% health, it's just like, yeah, I'm just going to die too quickly for that to matter. Because I be getting killed from like 60. Unless I'm getting shot by arrows, in which case, like, yeah, I'm okay. But if it's a situation where I'm honestly in a bad situation, like I'm just like, tough enemy, I'm just gonna die. Alright, Lady Stone, Early Stone. 15%. Ooh, 15%. 15% is a little less than 1 in 6, a little more than 1 in 7, so like 6.5. Every 6.5 kills, you'll get that, roughly. 30-second cooldown. Useless against big bosses, but could be useful enough against a big camp of enemies. Alright, Warlord Stomp for Lordstone. Also reduces enemy. Oh, that's what I want to see. This is alright. This is the first time I'm going to say this is the one. That's the first time I'm going to say this is the one. Lowering armor is big. Now, granted, reducing enemy armor only works against humanoid enemies, things that wear armor. If you're fighting an enemy like a dragon, which again, go back to our question, does this work against dragons? No, this does not work against dragons. It doesn't work against any enemies that aren't humans, including dwarven automatons. I'm pretty sure those don't have armor. I'm pretty sure those don't have armor either, even though they're big metal things. I'm pretty sure they just have straight up health and magic resistances. So, Lord looks good, but Berserk is technically better. Like, the Apprentice is technically better. Because anything that gives you Berserk is going to be technically better. But the Apprentice does it at will, so I would say that's technically better just because it it has your attack damage taken for 10 seconds. Well, more so, it doubles your attack damage and critical damage, which means it's in you. It's not part of your enemy. You don't have to get your enemy into your AoE and then, you can have a dragon fall into the ground. You can activate Berserk and then go ham on it. Loverstone. Orcs heal when they kill a flow. Healing is equal to 25% of its negative health. That might be the one. I like that one. I do like that one. I like that one a lot. Because I want to be big and stupid and I don't want to heal at all. I don't want to just do something like this. Even though I still have the Warrior's Flame. Does Warrior's Flame heal? No, I think it just buffs you, right? But there's the other effect like Will of Life that heals you constantly. Yeah. I do I do like this. I like you. Let me go crazy inside of combat. All right, Warlock Stomp. War Stomp also inflicts 15%. So this does work on every single enemy that you can inflict it on, which would be, I think, I'm sure somebody's going to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's every single enemy in the game. Warlock Stomp. So Mage Stone's pretty good. If you're a mage, orc, go for it. Ritual Blood Riot. In combat, deal 25% more attack damage or critical damage, but start combat with 50% health missing. Hmm. Well, if you have Okado's Recital and use Rejuvenation, that ain't no problem, ain't it? Rejuvenation, tree rings. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. So basically, what you're telling me is I get that for free. That's what you're really telling me is I get that for free. All right, that's fair. Um, I get the drawback, but you can just heal that off. Immediately heal that off. Um, all right, Shock Trooper, Orc Blood. Well, here's the thing: Blood Right is a Ritual Stone, which means it's another effect. The Ritual Stone has for every single. It feels like for every single race, the Ritual Stone has been a late game effect that's available in the early game, just to be like a Trojan horse. Like, oh yeah, you want this effect? Go ahead, and grab it. Yeah, you can grab it, and then you grab it, and you're just nowhere near ready to take it. Like if you don't have Okaza's Recital hooked up with a good healing spell, and you take that, you're screwed. Your Ritual Stone has screwed you. Just like it screwed you with the what was the other race that it screwed you with? Oh, definitely the Brayton. The Ritual Stone screwed you. Like this is another case of the Ritual Stone screwing the person who takes it, just unexpectedly. It's like yeah, it's there, but just leave it alone until you're prepared to take that effect. Shock resist on Orc Blood. Interesting. Okay. So you can go spelunking in the Drummer Ruins. That's awesome. A little more effectively. Or move 10% faster in combat. Khajiit. I'm so sorry, Khajiit. Like, Khajiit is getting stunned on right now. Now, granted, Khajiit did get a base 20, so base 20 is great, but I would, even if it was like a stupid 5% buff to like, I would like to see something. Like, just give me something, man. Like, give me something in combat. Give me something just like basic. Uh, well, I guess the problem is if Anai gave us a Khajiit one that was movement speed, that would just automatically been the ones like, oh, that's movement speed. That's all I want. Like, give me more movement speed. I don't want to hear anything else. Just give me more movement speed. Like nothing else matters. All right, War Stomp also. Yes, yes, yes. That's what I'm looking for. All right, that's the one. It's Steed Stone too, which is really weird. That's the one. I don't care about any other stones after this one. That's the one. Period. Dot. Steed Stone is the one. That's all I wanted to see, guys. I just wanted to see something that gives you the damage with the launch effect, with the Talons of Nern effect, with the spikes coming out of the ground. Even though it's not giving you the damage on the launch, it's giving you the damage on the stomp itself. It'll still happen close enough that I'm just like, yep, I like it. I like it a lot. Like this, I like. All right, Thief Stone. Don't care. Multiple sources of Berserk with the Ethereal Crown do not stack. Why did I? Why? Why would you do this? Oh no no. Does he mean that they don't stack like with each other? Like if you use them at the same time accidentally, like all right, you have it active by one stone and then you activate it again. That makes sense. But you can still have multiple sources where I can activate it in one way or I can activate it in another, right? That would be the only thing that makes sense to me. But yeah, As far as I'm concerned, Steed Stone is the only one that matters. Orc Smash. Orc Smash, Orc Smash. Yeah, okay, that's cool. You can use that early game. Um, what was Lady Stone again? You know, just use Orc Smash. Pillage doesn't make any sense to me. Um, Warlock Stomp makes sense to me if you are in fact, a mage at all. Then sure, go for it. Ooh. So that's basically not slow fall, but whatever. Feather fall, whatever makes you. I think it is feather fall. Yeah, that's really good. I like that. I support that. I rate that. All right, Redguard. So Redguard. So in Imperious in the current meta, and I'm sure this is going. Actually, I might have said during the last video that Brayton was going to be better than Redguard, but that's not true. Because what makes Redguard really good isn't Imperious. What makes it really good is Winter Sun. So as long as we're still using Winter Sun, Redguard is still going to be by far the best race. Um, I don't hate it. I do like Redguard. But yeah, sorry, Britons. It's yeah, sorry. Redguard still got it. So, Apprentice Contemplation. Redguards regenerate an additional 5% of maximum mana per second when out of combat. Okay, I'm not interested in that. Actually, let's look at the Mannaz stuff first. Let's figure out what we're dealing with. So, Redguard sprinting is 30% faster and costs 5 less stamina per second. So I think that's just like a weaker version of the Imperious effect, which was like... Yeah, when you're not in combat, you have unlimited stamina, so you can sprint nonstop. I don't think it gave you faster sprint speed, though. But it did make it so that, you were, you basically could sprint nonstop. Redguard sprinting is 30% faster and costs 5 less stamina. Really good. Shihai, at willpower for 75 magicka, manifests a floating spirit sword that fights independently at your side. I like this. If you don't know, this is based on the Sword Singer thing. It's kind of like their magic swords that the Redguards had. Once they got really good at the way of the sword, then they could, summon very, very powerful swords. One really strong sword singer was able to like split the continent, or actually no, it's called a Pancrata sword, and it like drowned like their original island, their homeland of Yokuda. So that's kind of what this power is based off of. So you get an ability that explains how your Shihai scales is based on your current attributes at the time you're summoning. Duration is equal to 5 seconds plus 1 second per current health. 30 seconds at 500 health. Damage is equal to 1 plus 5% of your current magicka. 26 of 500 magicka, and stamina is equal to 50% of your current stamina. 250 at 500 stamina. And its bonus attack speed is equal to 0.15 of your current stamina. 75% at 500 stamina. Okay, so basically this thing is like... I can't wait to try it out. But I'm just seeing that I'm going to... I mean, you're going to go into enchantment anyway with Tall Papa, and it's not just Tall Papa, because Tall Papa's not the one that gives you the enchantment, right? It's I forgot what the deity's name is, but the deity that gives you all the really good stuff for for your blessings. That makes all your blessings really strong. I think the ability is called Ouroboros or something. Yeah, that deity from Winter Sun. Um, you would use that in order to empower your enchanting, and use your enchanting that's been empowered to get link all three links, which you'd have to hunt those down because they're really rare effects if I'm not mistaken. You get your link Magicka Stamina, your link Stamina Health, and your link Magicka Health, and you basically use all three of those together. Maybe even Triptych if you can find it. I think it's the Silver Triptych. Is it gold or silver? I forgot. Whichever one it is, and then yeah, use all those abilities together, and then you could probably get a really long lasting Shihai that's just really strong and damaging. Overall, I like the idea. And then yeah, yeah. I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter what you pick. Just the base stats with Redguard's already broken, so so adding more stuff to it is just like it doesn't really matter what you pick. Like I guess it matters for early game because you're not broken until you hit a certain critical mass with Redguard. Like you do still have to go to find the Yokuden Hill Crown camp and then get all the deities that you need, raise the favor high enough. Like it is a game long journey to do it. Like it's not just immediately like you spawn in and you're broken. It takes you a good while to get to brokenness. But once you're broken beyond all like no there's no other race that can catch up to you. So Redguards regenerate an additional 5% of maximum stamina per second. Again, trash, I don't care. Changes Shihai to restore 5% of maximum stamina per second and grant 15% movement speed instead. So are these replacement effects? I think I was reading that these were replacement effects. During the Russian Charizard, replace your Shihai effect, removing an original effect. Yeah. All right, that's super trash. Like, I guess the movement speed is cool, but at the same time, no, absolutely not. And then Charizard, might as well look at that one now. Where is it at? Here it is. Lover. Changes Shihai to summon a spellcaster spirit. Okay. And I think this one is based on like your conjuration destruction, right? So if you're a really good mage, this will summon you a really good mage. If you're not a really good mage, then it's not going to summon you a very good mage. So our early stones, we have Lady Stone, disease resistance, ill, and then Ritual Stone, 20% chance to knock targets down on a power attack, mash or sneak attack. Okay, I like that. I like that, especially with other effects that kind of knock opponents back, like with Wind Carver, which is kind of a curved sword, Shamseer type deal. So that 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 kind of works really well with Redguards. I like it. Um, that's for once. That ritual stone is a good one for early game. I like it. Um, Lord Stone, 20% chance less attack damage from opponents if you're currently stronger than them. All right, so there's a lot of win more effects here, and I don't, I, yeah. If it's a win more effect, I just don't care. Like I'm sorry, I don't care if it's a win more effect. And this is a win more effect. Spells and scrolls are 20% more effective when cast on targets in melee range. I wonder if that counts for spell scribe. Because if it does, that's broke. That's busted. Oh, and that's the major effect. That's early game. That's starter. Uh, all right, so if you want to be a spell sword, you want to be full contact magic. That's pretty cool. Let's look at the other two. Thief, Shamshir, 50% chance to briefly disarm the target. Okay, okay, I like it. Can defend you a little bit. I like I like buffing the Shehai because that's kind of like the new hotness. So something that Shehai can do, I like it. And then Warrior Stone, 20% attack damage and crit. Oh, this is win more. Yeah, I don't care about that. So the Thief Stone looks good, and the Mage Stone looks good for your starters. And then the Lady Stone's kind of trash, but the Ritual Stone's pretty good for your like early game, but not starters, but pretty early still. All right, going down the line now. Serpent Stone poisons living foes in close range for a 20% alteration level. If you're, oh man, see this would make me want to sort of kind of play a druid type deal. Like, all right, let's say, because there's a lot of spells that allow you to like imprison opponents or stagger them, but don't actually do any damage. But this will allow you to do damage to those opponents that you're like trapping with Tharn's prison or what have you. Like any type of imprisonment spells that just stop opponents from moving, paralysis rune, what have you, and you just don't want to kill them um, with what a destruction spell or something, just for reasons, just for swag reasons. That's actually kind of cool. I like that. I like that. Genie of the Lamp, I like that too. I hate the fact that it's so deep in the game, um, but it's strong. At least it's good for getting some. See, my thing is, I wish that was on Lady Stone, or yeah, Lady Stone's the one that sucks, right? Yeah, I wish that was on Lady Stone. So that you can just immediately go after it at the beginning of the game without too much risk. But at Shadowstone, you just, you just go for it, and then it's like every hour or so, right? 16 hours and 41 minutes of gameplay. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot of gameplay. I'm not gonna lie, man. That's a lot of gameplay. You probably get like 3 wishes before like pretty much depleting most of the stuff you want to do in the game and getting bored. And remember, you're probably going to play a solid 4 or 5 hours before you ever get to this thing if you're gunning for it. Now, if you're really, really gunning for it, you could probably get to it in the first like 30 minutes. Just like run straight for it. But for the most part, you're usually going to naturally cross over this thing in like 4 or 5 hours. Yeah, I'll say Genie of the Lamp, just because of its placement, it's kind of mid. If it was on an earlier, easier to reach stone, I'd say it was better. All right, Steed Stone. Redguard sprinting is an additional 2 stamina per second cheaper. I don't know how much it costs to sprint. Does it does it cost like 7 stamina per second to sprint? How much does it cost to sprint? Does this make it free, or does this make it just extraordinarily cheap? If it makes it free, then I like it because it's basically like having the Steed Stone. Oh, well, I mean, yeah, it is a Steed Stone. It's basically like having the Steed Stone, but without the ability to discover nearby landmarks, which is sad. But it's like having the Andromeda Steed Stone at that point. Starlit Shores, once a day, 50. Oh, I don't like it already. I guess I could use Voice of Rage and Ruin or Power Surge. Once a day while outside of Skyrim, use this power to teleport to a random location in the world. Oh, yeah, well, I wouldn't really want to do that often. So I probably wouldn't use it with either of those powers I just mentioned. We already went over Coyote. Alright, do I feel like any of these are the one? I think this kind of depends on your build. There's not like an obvious the one for me here. I don't think. Like there's some pretty powerful effects and some not as powerful effects. Thief looks good. In general, I think it's the only one that actually buffs your Shehai. So just based on that, that might be the only one where I'm like, yeah, that's the one. Yeah, yeah, I think that's it. I think it's just because Thief is literally the only one that actually buffs your Shehai in any way, shape, or form. That I'd go with that. I'm not tripping, am I? No, I'm not tripping. Yeah, Thief Stone. So nice and easy to get to. So now, not only is Redguard really strong already, but now it has a Thief Stone that's probably its best stone, so it doesn't really have to really work for it. But it does have to work for the rest of its power, so we'll move on from there. Wood Elf. All right, Wood Elf had some intense changes, and I'm actually pretty happy about it. Or I thought I was. Hold up. Maybe it's in the Freyr list. So Harrier's still there. Um, yeah. So it looks like Harrier itself is improved based it is improved versus Imperious. And then you also have Wild Senses, which is okay, I guess. Let's see what Imperious looks like for us in Bosmer. So we had the cannibalism, cool. Harrier, cool. Wild Senses, cool. And then you also had Beast Tongue, which allowed you to make them an ally, an animal and ally. I used to use that a lot. So even though it was a daily effect, I used that one. I did use that one um, because that's kind of like the game plan was to be animal, a beastmaster. So let's see what we got on the list here. Hopefully these are useful. Oh, 50% faster when outdoors. Cool, but just being outdoors, it's like there's so much that happens indoors. I don't really want to just rely on being outdoors. Oh, Okay, okay. Wild Senses gets a little buff there. Atronach, I like that. Now, is that 25% of max health or total health? Because if that's, well, max health or current health. Because if that's 25% of max health, then that's strong. Because you could kind of whiff, like you could kind of kill somebody not too much. Like you could get like most of the way to killing a enemy, and then that way activate and kill them the rest of the way. So that would be kind of cool. I actually like that Firewatch ability. Is Wild Sense is only outside? Let me check. Nope. That's anywhere. Harrier has a 33% chance to equip the target's armor in combat if they are humanoid. Ooh. Okay. I hate that it's only every 8 to 16 minutes, though. That's my thing, though. The fact that it's only 8 to 16 minutes, yeah, that's too unpredictable for me. I need that to be on at will. Can ritually eat dead humanoid foes who had been marked by Harrier in combat, fortifying all attributes equal to its level for 15 minutes. Okay, so that's where Green Pack went. Magpie. Harrier finds 2 rare items instead, including genetic items. Okay. Harrier inflicts an additional 25% weakness to fire, frost, and shock. Yeah, that's good for a mage. Um, Lady Stone looks. So here's the thing. Lady Stone looks good. We might as well just skip down to Ritual Stone. Harrier can also hunt people. Okay, interesting. Um, I think that's useful. My only thing is, if it can hunt people, that means it can hunt innocents. And if it can hunt innocents, then it becomes useless. Because I'd rather mark an animal than mark a person that I don't want to kill and get a wanted level and all that other stuff. Like, yeah, I'm not feeling the Ritual Stone. It's another case where take it if you dare. Like it's there for you early in the game, but take it if you dare. Skyclad. The only reason I don't like it is because of how long it takes to activate Harrier in the first place. Like Harrier is basically, I hate to say it, it's a far worse version of Caustic Spit. Like, let's compare. And I'm not trying to get Caustic Spit nerfed, but it really is. Reducing armor by 250 points and magic resistance by 25 points. This is at random, every 8 to 16 minutes. Meanwhile, with Argonian up here, completely at will only cost me 75 mana Magica, which is nothing. Spit Course for about the same effect. 225. 225. And this is 250.25. But I can't control it at all, and it's only every 8 minutes. I can hit every single enemy in an area with Caustic Spit. I can't control who I'm going to hit, if it's going to be the Bandit Chief or whatever with Harrier. And that's my problem with Harrier. That I thought that I thought I read a version of his notes where he fixed that, and I don't. I guess he didn't. So Wood Elf looks like a well. Is it a downgrade? I guess if it's missing Beast Tongue and it doesn't get it back, it's a downgrade. From Andromeda plus Imperious. Because at least with Andromeda you get something useful like Steedstone. Alright, let's go back. Lordstone I don't really care about. Lover Magpie finds 2 rare items, including, yeah, I don't care about that either. Word Command don't really care about. Well, it's okay, but I don't. But again, I can't control that effect, so I don't care. Green Man, Wood Elven Blood it grants. Oh, I hate that. Shadowstone, study targets with wild senses, reducing their armor by. Ooh. So, okay, that's good. That's the only thing that's been good so far. Okay. Forest walk, move 10% faster from outdoors, whatever. Bushmen, what else are 50% harder to detect by targets that are being spotted with wild senses. Okay, cool. Tower, while Harrier is not hunting or in combat, it accompanies you, generating 4% of maximum health per second. And Warrior has 50% chance to knock targets in combat in air. Alright, so Firewatch is probably better against like dragons and non-human enemies. Hunter's Eye is definitely for humanoids because of the armor requirement. Um, it sucks that Harrier sucks, but it is what it is. Harrier just sucks. Sorry, Harrier just sucks. It needs to stop sucking. Why is it random? Why is it only every 8 to 16 minutes? Why is that even random? Like I can't even count it happening every 8 minutes, 12 minutes, 9 minutes, 11 minutes, 16 minutes, 15 minutes. It's a random number, and that's such a long time in a game play. It's like, yeah, it's not even like you still have to hunt down X amount of things to unlock Beast Tongue, which is completely gone now. So it's like, yeah, it's bad. I don't like Harrier because so many effects are so bad because they're all based on Harrier. The two effects that are not based on Harrier just end up being it by default, and it looks like Firewatch just ends up winning just because it applies to all foes instead of most foes. Well, all foes instead of humanoid foes. I wouldn't even say most foes. All right, so that's all the races. Sorry that ends on this arrow. No, I did not expect Harrier to still suck like that. I expected Harrier to be good. That was pretty disappointing. I ain't gonna lie. So my overall thoughts, I do like the mods. I do think overall for most of the races, the new stuff is going to be superior to the old stuff. The exceptions are going to be Wood Elf, um, Wood Elf, Orc is questionable. I think because you can now enchant with Orc, Orc is a little bit better. You weren't able to really enchant with Orc before. It would just be a diminished enchantment, and you couldn't loop, so it'd be a very diminished enchantment compared to everybody else. So, yeah, I would say Orc actually got a good bit out of it. It's not as obvious what you're supposed to do with it anymore, which is just go for Voice of Rage and Ruin, and then just activate Disengage as much as possible in order to reset your Berserk, reset your Shockwave over and over again. But with this way, you do have way more paths to victory than just that one thing. You can do a lot more, including that Talons of Nern thing I was talking about before, where every time you make them stagger, you get the 20% damage. Now it's only 20% of current health, which means it can never kill for that, but it is what it is. I would say, yeah, I would say this comes out ahead in Mannaz and Freyr in Futhark, which is the actual name of this in integrated stuff. Nord comes out ahead, I think. Yeah, Nord was really good actually. Khajiit, Khajiit takes a downgrade. Yeah, Khajiit takes a downgrade. I'm sorry. Well, don't want to say it takes a downgrade. I just don't understand what the Lordstone looks like the right one. I just don't understand what it does. And if not the Lordstone, then probably Ladystone. But either way, I just don't understand what the Lordstone really does. All right, Imperial came out way ahead, way ahead. High Elf took the biggest L of them all. Yeah, High Elf took a fat L. Like High Elf is bad. Dark Elf is great. It came out way ahead. Brayton, I would say Brayton came out pretty far ahead. Yeah, especially since it already got pretty badly nerfed from the last Stones of Galen nerf. This is actually pretty decent. There's a lot of powerful effects for different builds. It's basically 10, 11, 12 different builds that are viable. Probably 11 because I don't consider Serpent very viable, and I don't consider Steed very viable. But most of the other stuff is viable by itself. Like you have like a different viable build for each of those. So Brayton came out way ahead, in my opinion. Argonian, yeah, Argonian took a huge buff. Argonian took a huge buff in this. Yeah, Argonian is going to be super fun to play. So it sucks if you're a fan of one of those three classes that took a fat L. I know a lot of high elf players. I'm sorry, it sucks. You lost contingency. You're technically better at being a warrior than you are at being a mage. Like, I'm sorry, that just sucks. That just really sucks. I'm sorry, all you armor players. I'm not gonna enjoy playing armor. I'm really not gonna enjoy playing armor. Khajiit, it's not that it sucks, because it's technically faster at base than it's faster at base than Imperious Khajiit was, but Imperious Khajiit also had the benefit of Andromeda. Was it Steed Stone or was it Serpent Stone? One of the two stones that increased your speed in combat, and this doesn't. So at the end of the day, you end up taking a slight L. There are more things you can do. I am interested with the money effects that decrease your casting costs and all that kind of stuff. The other effect that gives you a large sum of money at will and then you can pay it back later, I'm interested in that as well. There's some good stuff in here. It's just not as overwhelmingly powerful as Imperious Khajiit Punch Cat was. So it's not as fat as of an L as the other two. Like Altmer took a fat L, like a massive L. This took a slight L. Khajiit took a slight L, and then Wood Elf took a freaking massive L. Well, I wouldn't say it took a massive L. I liked Beast Tongue, and the fact that it lost Beast Tongue and then didn't really get much back for it. Like Wild Senses is okay. 25% health on snipe, or the 500% armor reduction on snipe. I guess that's cool stuff. I'm still thinking of it from a if only Harrier wasn't so sucky. If it wasn't so sucky, I would have access to 13 instead of 2. Like 13 of these stones instead of 2, because it feels like 11 of these stones can't even really be used. I'm keep real. Like, it feels like 13 of these stones can't even really be used. Excuse me, 11 of these stones can't even really be used. It's only just 2. So, yeah. Wood Elf feels actually worse. The thing is, Altmer was probably one of the best races in Imperious. So for it to fall so far down is a massive L. But Wood Elf already pretty much sucked pretty bad in Imperious. So it continuing to suck. Like Harrier already sucked, so it continuing to suck. He even buffed a little bit here to making it like more consistent and stuff like that, but it's still inconsistent, and it still takes a long time to activate. And yeah, I'm in rant mode. I'm sorry, but yeah, this is bad. Yeah, it went from, here's the thing, it went from bad to still bad, but slightly worse in comparison to all the other races because all the other races got better for the most part. Like Orcs, the only like super questionable one. Like, did it really get better? You could also kind of question Redguard, but I would say Redguard kind of got better. Like you have options. Orc is questionable, but it it pretty much got better. I'm sure once I get the controller in my hand, I'll understand a little bit more. Nord is definitely better. There's no question there. Khajiit, you have more options, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. Like Khajiit feels like Slidell. Yeah, that I'm just gonna keep that same lineup. That's how I feel. Khajiit, Slidell, Wood Elf, Big L, like medium size L, it already sucked, so it didn't have far to fall. It technically got better, maybe, even though it lost Beast Tongue. I would have preferred to keep Beast Tongue. Like if push came to shove, I would have rather keep Beast Tongue and just have it be like an at will effect, but you can only have one over Harrier, but Harrier's completely random. Like this is bad. Like, so it just went from bad to kind of worse just because everybody else got better. Whereas Altmer went from really, really strong to like crap. like, like I'm sorry, Altmer. Oh man, that's feel bad. That a really strong race like that got really badly nerfed, and then Wood Elf. Wood Elf didn't really get nerfed, but I got nerfed indirectly because all the other races got buffed so hard, except for Altmer, and sort of kind of Khajiit and Orc. Khajiit more so. So yeah, that's all my thoughts for now. I can't wait, until it drops for Xbox and I can actually get it in my hands and play it and stop theory crafting, but actually enjoy the game. Um, so yeah, that'll be it for now. So if you've enjoyed this content, as always, you're free to like, subscribe, do all that cool stuff. But yeah, catch you next time. Hopefully next time I'm doing EnaiRim stuff, it'll be as it'll be streaming on Twitch instead of scrolling. So yeah, later guys, peace.